What's up guys, I hope everyone's doing well. Welcome back to another video at Hungry Roots. So the video today we're shooting is aloo kofte ki chaat. So you might have heard aloo kofte ki sabji, but this is a very unique recipe. It's one of my own creations. So let's get started. So I'm just started by making my green chutney. So what I did basically in the previous part was took coriander, mint, green chili, salt and black salt and just grinded it and set it aside. So we're gonna start with the next thing, which is tamarind chutney. So guys, this recipe includes a lot of different recipes wherein you'll use them for the final assembly of the product, but don't get intimidated. It is a bit time consuming, but the end product is worth it. So for the tamarind chutney, I've selected a very simple recipe over here. What you need to do is you just need to take some water in a pan, add some jaggery powder or jaggery sugar, whatever you call it. I basically prefer using jaggery sugar because it's easier to dilute in water. If you have whole jaggery, you can use that as well. So now it's time to add in my spices and my salt. So I've used regular salt, I've used black salt, and I've used red chili powder. So what red chili powder does, it gives it a mild spiciness. Also it gives it good color. So this is Kashmiri red chili powder. It's not gonna be very spicy, but it's definitely gonna give you a mild hit of spiciness and good color as well. So I've gone in and added my tamarind pulp. So for this recipe I've used a proportion of 2 parts of jaggery sugar to 1 part of tamarind pulp, which is 2 parts of sweetness to 1 part of sourness. Now you can interchange this recipe. You can make it more sour if you want, you can make it equal if you want, but it's up to your choice. I always say cooking is your judgment. That's it guys, it's been 5 minutes. My tamarind syrup has been boiling and it's done. That's how simple it is. You need to set this aside and allow it to set. It's gonna become more thick as it sets. So moving to the second part of our recipe, which is the aloo kofte. So this recipe is actually similar to the aloo tikki which we did in the previous video, but since we're making the aloo kofte, I'm just gonna repeat the recipe. So what I did was I took 3 boiled potatoes, I grated them up, I've added my spices in it. I used garam masala, coriander powder, black salt, regular salt, bit of kasuri methi, coriander and green chili. So this is a very basic spice mix which I've added. I've not added any amchur or chaat masala to this because I think this serves well. Now what I did was I added some corn flour. So it's very important to add some sort of binding when you're frying your potatoes. Otherwise what will happen, it will actually burst open in the oil. So I used corn flour for this recipe. So guys, there's one trick to know when you will know that how much do you need to knead your potato mix. So basically it forms like a dough. First of all, when you press it, it doesn't break or crumble, and second, when you roll it, the ball holds its shape and does not have any cracks. So that's one very important tip to note, that when you roll the ball without any effort, it should not have any crack. If it has any cracks as such, your tikki or your balls will definitely break into the hot oil. So make sure that these 2 steps are kept in mind. So I was able to make about 14 of them. I'm going to use some for this recipe, some for the other recipe. So my oil has been heating for about 3 to 4 minutes. It's on medium heat. So I'm gonna add the aloo koftas right now. So one mistake I did over here, I actually overcrowded my pan, but you should definitely avoid that. I actually took out some of them later during the stage because they had started to break because there was no space left for me to turn them. So I reduced the space later on, but you should always do it in the first stage. So only put about 3 to 6 pieces in a pan like this. So this is what I was talking about. I was actually facing some issue rolling them over because I had no space. I left no space. How foolish of me. That's okay. Cooking is always learning at any stage of life. So you just need to turn them around and you gotta make sure that they're brown from all sides. Always make sure you keep on turning them and checking on them. But definitely when you put them in oil, let them set for a minute or so. Otherwise it will be very soft and when you turn them. So this is what I did, guys. I actually took off 5 to 6 of them because they were actually getting cluttered, and you can see how beautiful they're fried now. Now they actually look like gulab jamuns. It reminds me of gulab jamuns, but they're not gulab jamuns, they basically are aloo kofte. So you can see my bottom part is actually very light in color. So you have to make sure that it becomes brown from all the sides. So this took about 4 to 5 minutes for me to fry on medium heat. So when you get that brown color on all the sides, you need to take them out. So you see how brown they are, evenly brown they are on all the sides. That's it, you need to take them out and keep them aside for the later stage. So now we're gonna start with our fourth recipe for this video, which is the papri. I know it's a very complicated recipe, but trust me, the end product is amazing. So I've used 3 ingredients to my flour: salt, kasuri methi and ajwain. Ajwain is carom seeds and kasuri methi is dry fenugreek. So you can avoid using both of these, it's your call, but I definitely get a very good flavor from them, so I added them to the flour. One basic rule you should always understand about dry ingredients and wet ingredients: whenever you're making a dough, whenever you're working with flour, all dry ingredients need to mix first. Otherwise what happens when you add water and you add them later, they basically don't mix evenly. So remember, dry ingredients go in first, you mix them, then any liquid such as oil, water starts going in. So what we're looking at over here is a stiff dough. You don't want a thin dough, otherwise what will happen, it will not become crispy in the oil. So you're definitely looking for a stiff dough and not a soft one. So very simple trick to know that your dough is stiff is, you see when I press it down, it will not fluff up. It is only fluffing up when I'm pressing the dough. That means my dough is done. So it's very simple, you press it down, it should not come up, that means your dough is stiff enough. I'm just gonna roll it, dip it in some hot oil and start rolling it like a papri. Remember, do not use any flour for this, because if you use flour to roll this out like a normal chapati, when you add it to your oil, the papri will lose all the flour and your oil will become black immediately. So you don't want that to happen. So just dip it in the hot oil that's in the pan, or keep a bowl of oil besides you if you think that's a little dangerous for you, and roll out the papri using just oil and nothing else at all. So you can see there's no difficulty that I'm facing rolling this out. Just pick it up time to time and you will not have any problem without the flour as well. So next thing you have to do is you have to pierce this papri very properly. Why are we doing this? Because we do not want it to puff up in the hot oil. What happens is when you put any puri or any kachori in the oil, you always might be seeing they puff up. That's because steam develops inside the dough and it puffs it up. So we don't want that to happen over here. So by making holes in that, you make sure that the steam is escaping. So that's how it becomes flat and remains crispy as well. So guys, the dough needs to be put in on a medium heat temperature oil. If you're putting it in a very fast oil, what will happen is it will become brown from outside and remain raw from inside. That's not what you want to do. Since I had some space in the oil, I put in the second one as well. If you're using a bigger vessel than this, if you're using a lot of oil, you can put 3 to 4 papris, you can put 50 papris, how much ever you want to do. So I also rolled a big one for another recipe of mine. So you can do this as well if you're feeling very lazy to make a lot of small papris. What you can do is you can actually make 2 to 3 big ones and you can crush them and use them later in whatever chart or recipe you're gonna use them. Now we finally come to the assembly of this. dish. So like you saw, there were multiple recipes that we made for this one. It was specifically chosen intentionally so that I'm able to show you different cooking methods that we use for chaat preparation. So this is a very self-explanatory part. If you have any questions, if you had any feedback, please drop it in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help you back. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Please stay tuned, watch till the end. God bless. That's it, guys. That brings us to the end of this video. So thank you so much for staying tuned on, and I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button and also hit the bell icon if you have subscribed to us to get notifications of new videos. And if you haven't subscribed to us, please subscribe to us, hit the bell icon and hit the like button on our videos. Also subscribe to us on Facebook and Instagram. Our ID is on the next page. It's chef underscore with a tattoo. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for staying tuned. God bless. Stay safe. Love you all.